Usain Bolt is the fastest man alive, and there really is no debate. Since he broke onto the scene and into our hearts in the early 2000s, Bolt has been shattering records, collecting medals, and overall being one of the best track athletes of all time. But ever since he retired in 2017, he has had some choice words for his fellow countryman and Olympic sprinter Yohan Blake. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the relationship these two have and what exactly Bolt thinks of Blake. So stick around, because you won't want to miss a second of this video. When Bolt hung up his cleats in 2017, he was on top of the world.
Usain, it may not have been the fairy tale ending, but my goodness, you've delivered a dream of a career.
It makes me happy, you know what I mean? It's hard to feel sad with the energy the crowd is giving me, although I'm sad. But I tried my best as always. You guys know I always come out here and give it my 100%. Good career, so thanks for the support.
Usain, there's absolutely nothing to be sorry about. You will always be our hero. Thank you so much for.
Looking back on his career, he was easily the most dominant track athlete in the world and the best sprinter on the planet. There is essentially nobody else in history who can say that, but Usain Bolt absolutely can. He inspired an entire generation of runners, especially those from his home country of Jamaica. When Bolt burst onto the scene with his blazing speed and infectious charisma, he made a whole generation of athletes want to be fast. Bolt single-handedly made Jamaica the fastest country in the world and brought home a ton of hardware at Olympic Games and World Championships. And while some of his teammates were also great, they were not as good as Bolt, and that is where the issue lies. While it may be unfair of Bolt to get mad at his teammates and countrymen for not being as physically dominant, he does bring up some valid frustrations. Bolt was asked about his country's performance at the 2018 World Championships.
Master of Ceremonies ist hier, Usain Bolt. Dreimal Keine Frage, wenn es Kritik gibt, dann aus unseren Reihen. Aber versteht's nicht.
To which he gave some harsh feedback. Bolt said, "I've walked away from the sport and no one is there to pick up the pieces, keep the level." Bolt continued on by saying, "It's embarrassing for the country. Every time I see people, they say, 'Come back, we need you.' But you have so much talent in Jamaica." It's clear that Bolt is less than impressed with his countrymen, and I find it hard to blame him. Yes, Bolt was naturally gifted, but he also worked his butt off to make it to the highest level. Natural talent did not get Usain Bolt to where he is, that's for sure. But I think what makes him the most angry is the fact that his former teammate and captain of Jamaica's sprint team, Yohan Blake, was not stepping in as a leader. Blake was one of the most prominent sprinters in the world, even when Bolt was competing. Blake even beat Bolt in the 2012 Olympics, proving that he was one of the best. But since then, he has been content with sitting on the back burner and letting other countries take over as the fastest nation on earth. The United States in particular have stepped in and taken that spot from Jamaica, and Bolt is not happy about it. The reasoning is quite simple. Bolt worked very hard to get that sprinting program to where it was, and he was the reason that Jamaican sprinting was on the map. So when he left it in what he thought were capable hands, he was very disappointed when he saw that that was not the case at all. And he leaves most of the blame off of the newcomers, as they will learn what it means to sprint for Jamaica in time. But Blake has no excuse. Blake has the talent, the speed, and the fame, but he seemingly lacks the work ethic. But this is not exactly something new for Blake. Bolt was not the biggest fan of Yohan Blake, even when they were teammates. Don't get my words twisted. They weren't enemies or anything, but Bolt had some vocal opinions on Blake's issues. For starters, Bolt was very clear that Blake doesn't listen very well. According to Bolt, Blake had the talent to be the greatest sprinter alive, but he refused to listen to the lessons that Bolt had to teach him, which is pretty funny when you think about it, because if you were trying to beat the best person at a certain thing, who better to learn from than that person? Bolt was adamant on teaching Blake the ins and outs of competitive sprinting, but Blake wanted to do things his own way.
Yohan Blake, possibly the coolest man in the 100 meters. Blake's the expert, hot tip to take gold in the most coveted race of the Olympics. So how's he preparing?
Well, I don't really think about it. I spend my time watching cricket during the Olympics, but I just try not to really think about the Olympics, I just have fun. So when I'm on the track, I'm in that beast.
Now, to Blake's credit, I understand hearing advice and then not applying it to your life due to you understanding that it simply won't work for you. Bolt's advice may have worked for him, but there is no concrete evidence to suggest that it would also work for Blake.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this run. As you said, this is my first one, so definitely looking forward to it. Yohan Blake is a great athlete. We train every day, so I see him. He's training pretty well. He's coming on. I think he has the possibility to be a great athlete without a doubt, as he's shown over the years. And I'm always looking forward to competing against him because he's a very fierce competitor. He works hard, so.
However, if the best sprinter in the history of the world tells you to try something, it is probably in your best interest to at least try it. The biggest issue that Blake had was that he believed that he would have been the fastest man alive if Bolt was a few years older, or Blake was a few years younger. Blake even said that if he were born in a different time, he would be the fastest man alive. To be fair, he followed up that quote by saying that he is extremely grateful for his opportunity to be a great runner, but still, the entire quote is a bit shocking. Blake always resented Bolt for being better than him, and Blake feels as though he was constantly pressured by the media to be better than Bolt, and every time he failed, he felt the pressure even more. Bolt wasn't just going to step aside for Blake and just let him have the spotlight and be faster than him just because Blake wanted to be faster. Bolt would have happily conceded his title as the fastest man alive if Blake had actually beat him, but he never did. Blake only beat Bolt once at the 2021 Olympics, but the two of them raced so often that it is almost unfathomable that Blake only managed to beat him a single time, considering all the hype around him. If he was actually as fast, if not faster, than Bolt, why did he only beat him once? Why did he never break any of Bolt's speed records? Don't get me wrong, Yohan Blake is an exceptional athlete, and he is most likely right that if Usain Bolt was born in a different time, Blake most likely would have been the fastest man alive, and he would have gotten the praise that Bolt got. But his selfish attitude and his unwillingness to learn and grow stunted his ability and his fame by a wide margin. Moreover, Blake failed to continue the esteemed tradition built by Bolt to make the United States the most elite country when it came to sprinting. So while Blake has exceptional talent, he is also the poster boy for believing that talent can overcome hard work. If Blake had decided to work hard, keep his nose to the grindstone and block out the noise surrounding the relationship between he and Bolt, I think Yohan Blake's name would be up in lights beside Bolt's, rather than forever in his shadow. That's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. What do you think? Was Bolt too hard on Blake and his countrymen? Could Blake have been the best sprinter of all time? Let us know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, don't forget to leave a like on the video and to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Also, ring the bell so you stay up to date and are notified every time we post a new video. We hope you enjoyed today's content, and we will see you all in the next video.